Presenting tables within his brain. The sonnets, as published in the 1609 quarto, contain many hints and clues to the author's real identity. Sonnet 122, for example, looks different. It has this anomaly, an extra letter. The poem hides clues about the writer's real identity. And I will read it. Thy gift, thy tables, are within my brain, full charactered with lasting memory, which shall above that idle rank remain beyond all date, even to eternity. Or at least, so long as brain and heart have faculty by nature to subsist, till each to raised oblivion yield his part of thee, thy record never can be missed. That poor retention could not so much hold, nor need I tallies thy dear love to score. Therefore, to give them from me, was I bold, to trust those tables that receive thee more. To keep an adjunct to remember thee, were to import forgetfulness in me. The first clue to the writer's identity is that there are 17 uppercase letters, including the extra one. There are 423 letters. We add 13 punctuation marks, including the extra comma in line 1, to get 436. We then add the number of words, 105, to get 541. We add the sonnet number to get 663. (663) is 17 times 39. Let's continue with another simple Gematria sum. The sonnet has 105 words, as we noted earlier. We subtract the Gematria value of the decorative T, 19, to get 86. Then we subtract the number of extra letters, because it doesn't need to be there, to get 85. (85) is 17 times 5. Next, the Gematria sum of all uppercase letters is 288. This letter could very well be the Greek letter gamma, but reversed. This letter on line 13 could also be the Greek letter gamma. Let's find out and compare it to the T in 2 from line 12. We need to enlarge what we are looking at. Notice the strong crossbar on the left of the T from line 12. Notice how clean the break looks in the second letter. We can conclude that the letter is another reversed gamma, and it is likely a hint to see the initial decorative letter also as gamma. Gamma is the third letter in the Greek alphabet, so it has a numerical value of 3. The sum of all uppercase letters is now 272. 272 is 17 times 16. When we subtract 3 from the total number of words, 105, to get 102, which is 17 times 6. We have another puzzle to do using this value for the new letter gamma. We do a connected Gematria sum with all the letters touching the letter, which are T, F, and W. And we get 68. 68 is 17 times 4. We now have 4 multiples of 17. 3 are in the sequence of 17 times 4, 17 times 5, and 17 times 6. The odds against this being random are astronomical. It also satisfies the tria sunt omnia principle. A repetition of 3 of anything suggests that what is being presented is either a profound truth or hides a profound truth. Let's not forget 17 uppercase letters. Let's not forget our original sum of 663. Let's look at the words. Lines 1 and 2 are proof the author had an eidetic or perfect memory. He says, "Thy gift, thy tables are within my brain, full charactered with lasting memory." He begins by talking of a gift from someone, likely someone with the code name of Gamma or the number 3. The word tables deserves an explanation. The word is used at least 4 ways in the plays. As a table, piece of furniture in 24 of the plays. Second, as the tablets of the Ten Commandments in Richard III, Act 1, Scene 4, in which Clarence says, "The great King of Kings hath in the tables of his law commanded that thou shalt do no murder." Third, as a metaphor for memory in Hamlet, Act 2, Scene 2. Hamlet says, "I, thou poor ghost, whose, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, remember thee? Yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, All saws of books, all forms, all pressures past that use and observation copied there, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven, O most pernicious woman, O villain, villain, smiling, damned villain. For, as a notebook in the same speech from Hamlet, my tables, meet it is I set it down, that one may smile and be a villain. At least I'm sure it may be so in Denmark. Then we have the stage direction that he writes, proving that tables is books. And the sonnet paraphrases this line from Hamlet, within the book and volume of my brain, where within my brain are exactly what's in line 1 of Sonnet 122. Which implies that tables is a metaphor for books, also called volumes. Therefore, the poet is describing how he remembers everything. In other words, he had an eidetic, perfect memory, a photographic memory, unlike me. The memory will last until he dies. In these lines he says, which shall above that idle rank remain beyond all date, even to eternity, or at the least so long as brain and heart have faculty by nature to subsist, till each to raised oblivion yield his part. Then the memories of who he is addressing will be gone. Oblivion yield his part of thee is a good way of saying, I'll be forgetting you once I go. Till then, she will never be forgotten. He says, thy record never can be missed. And he does not need tallies or lists to keep track of her love. He says, thy record never can be missed, that poor retention could not so much hold, nor need I tallies thy dear love to score, as in keeping score in a game of bridge or any other game that requires scoring. The word tallies sets up the second definition of tables. Now meaning a list of traits for his love. He says, those tables that receive thee more, to keep an adjunct to remember thee. This is the rhetorical device of antanaclasis, comes from the Greek meaning reflection or echo. He says in line 1, thy tables, in line 12, those tables. We can interpret an adjunct as a column in a list of figures or a ledger. These lines tell the reader that were he to use some artificial memory aid, he would lose his innate ability to remember things. Nor need I tallies thy dear love to score, therefore to give them from me was I bold, to trust those tables that receive thee more, to keep an adjunct to remember thee, were to import forgetfulness in me. Here we see a form of repetition in line 12. To trust those tables that. All of these words begin with the letter T. I take this as a sign that we are to count things and add things up in exactly the way we have done to figure out those numbers. Here we see more forms of repetition in which t's are together. These are t's which touch each other, and there are 8 pairs of them. Remember, we have 6 numbers which involve the number 17. The letter gamma may be a code letter for someone. We can infer that the poem may be addressed to them as in Gamma, thy gift, thy tables are within my brain, meaning he has read the books she gave him. Now we have a logical reason why the letter looks odd and why it is extra. It's simply a code number for someone in the poet's life who fits the number 3 somehow. Who was the poet? One exceptional poet qualifies as he had 3 daughters. He was also identifiable by the number 17. And we have 6 little puzzles that involve that number as well. Of course, he was Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Oxford. His first daughter, Elizabeth, became the first female Lord of Man. The second daughter, Bridget, married poorly in her first marriage, so she had to divorce her husband. The third daughter, Susan, married the first Earl of Montgomery, who was one of the 2 dedicatees of the first folio. As the sonnets are presented in this book published in 2020, All the Sonnets of Shakespeare, edited by Paul Edmondson and Sir Stanley Wells, they are merely thought experiments with no biographical content. So, is this a thought experiment or a fun thank you note to a beloved daughter from her grateful father for giving him some books? This is more evidence that Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Oxford, was Shakespeare. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.